And we are live. All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2020, and Game 2 in this four-game set between the New York Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays out in Buffalo, New York. The visiting Yankees give ace Gerrit Cole the ball as they look to snap their two-game losing streak and continue to chase for the home field advantage in round one of the 2020 postseason. The Blue Jays look to add on to their two-game winning streak and maintain the 8th and final seed in the playoffs. Only 6 games remain in the regular season, and this one will begin shortly. Let's take a look at tonight's starting pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Hello to everyone in the chat. Welcome to the stream. The game is going to be underway in just a few moments. Tanner Roark on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays this evening. In 9 games pitched, he's 2-2 with a 6.41 ERA. The 6'2" right-handed pitcher has thrown 39 1/3 innings, striking out 35 batters, and accumulating a 1.75 whip here in 2020. Go Yanks. Yep, you know it. I'm excited, guys. This is a fun game. The Blue Jays currently lead this series 1-0. Again, this is a best-of-4 set. Gonna mess with my lighting a little bit here. Again, hello to everyone in the chat. Welcome. Tanner Roark versus Gerrit Cole. It's a great matchup today. Yankees, Blue Jays, two teams that we're gonna see in the postseason, at least hopefully, as long as things don't go terribly wrong for the Toronto Blue Jays these last 6 games of the year. So here we are. Tanner Roark, Gerrit Cole. The Yankees lineup looks very good, almost postseason good right now. DJ LeMahieu will lead it off for the New York Yankees at second base. He'll step into the batter's box here to face Roark, and we have the first pitch right about now. So here we are. Tanner Roark, DJ LeMahieu. The first pitch of the ball game is a fastball down the middle for called strike one. Now, DJ LeMahieu in 2020 has 3 hits against Tanner, and in only 3 at-bats, so he's hitting 1,000. All home runs. So 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. Very nice numbers from the Yankees leadoff man and second baseman against the Blue Jays right-handed pitcher. So it's going to be LeMahieu, Judge, and Aaron Hicks all do appear in the top of the first. We will get to the 1-9 lineup in just a few seconds. LeMahieu's going to poke this one over to second baseman Joe Panik, and he will make the throw over to Vlad Jr. in time for the first out of the ball game. DJ LeMahieu leads off starting at second base for the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge, the DH, will bat second. Switch hitting center fielder Aaron Hicks bats third, and the cleanup batter today, first baseman Luke Voigt. Gleyber Torres starts at shortstop and will bat fifth. Gio Urshela at third base batting sixth. Clint Frazier out in right field batting seventh. The left-handed left fielder Brett Gardner will bat eighth. And Kyle Higashioka, the home run stroker, will bat ninth for the New York Yankees behind the plate this evening. So with one underway, Tanner Roark misses for his first pitch to Aaron Judge here, and the count's going to be 1-0. Now, Judge in 82 at-bats is hitting .256 this year with 9 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a .924 on-base plus slugging. Another fastball going to miss down and away, so it's a 2-0 count to number 99. Yeah, Yankees need to beat the Blue Jays for the Angels to have a chance. That is most definitely the case. Potential postseason team at the moment, but they really have to win pretty much every game and hope that the Mariners, among others, lose the majority of the final 6 or 7 games that are still remaining here in 2020. Judge will lace this one through the gap on the left side of the infield, and it's going to be a single. That's the first hit of the ball game, and Aaron Judge, who has been struggling a little bit since coming off the IL, could potentially start a big night at the plate with that 1-out single. So I have not done a whole lot of predictions and what to watch for this season, but if you have anyone who you think is going to hit a home run, or if you have a score that you believe is going to be the end result of this ballgame, you can go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section. So for those of you guys who don't know, in last year's live streams, I'd go ahead and predict guys who I thought would hit home runs, what I thought the end score would be for a ball game, and then I'd get the comment section on it too. If you guys would like to do that, go ahead in the comment section, let me know, and I'll read it out on stream. We'll see how close you are or how accurate you are by the time I am done streaming for today. So let's bring in the switch hitting center fielder Aaron Hicks. Now he'll bat left-handed, with Tanner Roark being a right-handed pitcher. And Hicks has 147 at-bats under his belt this year. In that time, he's hitting .218 with 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and a .776 on-base plus slugging. A 2-0 count to him. Now remember, Aaron Judge stands on first. He's the designated hitter tonight. Giancarlo Stanton with a scheduled off day, so he is not in the lineup. That allows for Judge to be the DH and for Voit to still get time in at first. Voit going 3 for 4 with a homer, and Yanks winning 9-7. I like it. I like it. I have Luke Voit on my fantasy baseball team, so if he goes yard, that'd be really helpful for me here in this last week of fantasy baseball season. Now, Tanner Roark misses outside to advance the count to 3-0 in Aaron Hicks' favor. Now, he's tied for 4th in Major League Baseball with 38 walks on the season. Obviously, fastball, get me over, pitch for strike one. The count's going to be 3-1 to the center fielder. But I believe the league leading stat for walks is 46. And again, Hicks comes in with 38. So he definitely gets on base a lot via the walk in ball 4. And he's going to rope this one into right field out to Teoscar Hernandez, but he will not be able to make the play. Judge will get to third. Aaron Hicks will also get to third, and Aaron Judge scores. It's an RBI triple. I was a little confused there with the camera angle, but Judge rounds third and heads home. Aaron Hicks with a 1-out RBI triple, and the scoring is off to a quick start. The Yankees up 1-0. An RBI triple for Aaron Hicks makes it his 15th run batted in here in 2020. And it's going to be a 1-0 ball game with a runner 90 feet away and 1 out for Luke Voit. Now let's look at Luke Voit's stats. 4 at-bats against the Blue Jays pitcher this year, and he is hitless. He has 1 strikeout, no hits, no home runs, no RBIs. The first pitch to him is going to be a ball. Now, Voit leads Major League Baseball with 21 home runs, which is a pretty exciting stat. Of course, the race to 20 homers I thought was going to be a little closer than it was. Jose Abreu is second in the league with 18. Then you have a few guys tied for third with 16. I believe Nelson Cruz, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Mike Trout are all men who accompany each other on that list, tied for third. So Luke Voit running away with the title almost, just 6 games out from the end of the regular season. And this ball is spiked in the dirt. Going home is Aaron Hicks, and he will be safe. So a wild pitch from Tanner Roark will allow Aaron Hicks to score. It's a 2-0 ball game, and the Yankees off to a quick start here offensively. 2 men have reached, 2 men have scored, 1 out for Luke Voit. So that means nobody on base for the Yankees cleanup batter and first baseman. I'm actually going to move this aside here because the ring light is getting in the way of it. It's a little bit of a glare. There we go. Back to the game now. It's 2-1 to Luke Voit. Tanner Roark has thrown 14 pitches to match his jersey number. And this is a fastball down the middle. Luke Voit just gets a little under it. And right behind the infield dirt is Bo Bichette at short. And he'll make the catch. So it's a pop out to shortstop for out number 2. Let's take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays defense this evening. From left to right in the outfield, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Then you have Jonathan Davis and Teoscar Hernandez. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will start at first. Joe Panik at second. Kevin Biggio third. Bo Bichette at short. Now, the sensational rookie in just 14 at-bats, hitting .429, Alejandro Kirk will be the catcher tonight. Tanner Roark obviously will start on the mound, and Randall Grichuk is your designated hitter for the baby Blue Jays. The 0-1 to Gleyber Torres is going to miss down 1-1. I hope the Yankees do have a shot to climb their way up the postseason bracket just a little bit. We will get to that at commercial break in more depth, but right now the Yankees own the number 5 seed in the AL. They are chasing after the Minnesota Twins. And we'll get to the Blue Jays and what they look like, their path to the postseason as well. Now, Gleyber Torres has very good numbers against Tanner Roark. 7 at-bats, 5 hits, but he will strike out here. And that will end the inning. So a strikeout to Gleyber Torres, the first for Tanner Roark on the day. But that does not take away from the fact 2 hits, 2 runs, no man left on base for the New York Yankees. They got out to a quick lead here, have a pair of runs on the board in the first, and that will give Garrett Cole the lead as we go to the bottom of the first to see the Toronto Blue Jays and their bats for the first time this ballgame. So here we go here, the American League bracket for the 2020 postseason as things currently stand with just a few games left in the 2020 season. Now, the Blue Jays own that number 8 seed. They are the second wildcard team, 27-26 record. Now, they are just a few games back of the Cleveland Indians for the number 7 spot, but right now I think the Jays have a really nice spot there, 8th. The Seattle Mariners are 4 games back of Toronto for that number 8 spot. So right now the Blue Jays are really sitting comfortably, I would say, as long as they pick up like another 2 or 3 wins on the year. They do have that number 8 spot secured, locked, and loaded. So the Blue Jays 8, the Cleveland Indians own the first wild card seed in this year's AL bracket. They are 7th, 29, and 24. So those are your 2 wildcard teams. Let's take it to the top. Your 1, 2, 3 teams, respectively, in the American League are the Tampa Bay Rays, the Chicago White Sox, and the Oakland Athletics, your 3 division leaders. The Minnesota Twins and New York Yankees are 4th and 5th. The Houston Astros being the final second-place team. They are the number 6 seed in the AL. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone climbs up the ladder a little bit, if we see a team advance or get a little bit lower on the totem pole with these final few games still left to be played in 2020. Now, Garrett Cole will take the mound for the visiting New York Yankees. In 11 games pitched this year, he is 6-3 with a 3 ERA in 66 innings pitched with 87 strikeouts and a 0.98 whip. 203 career games for Garrett Cole. And in that time, he is 155 with a 3.20 ERA and 1,261 innings, 1,423 strikeouts, and a 1.12 win hits innings pitched stat. Now, Cavan Biggio will take a ball for the first pitch and foul off pitch number 2, 96-mile-per-hour fastball. The count's going to be even, 1-1. Both Cubs and White Sox are looking great. Yes, they sure are. Also, the only 2 teams who have had a starting pitcher throw a no-hitter this year. So, of course, that is in reference to Lucas Giolito and Alec Mills. Super fun stat. I believe that's the first time in Major League Baseball history that someone from both the Chicago teams have thrown a no-hitter in the same season. 2-1 to Cavan Biggio, and the off-speed is in there for strike 2. The count will be all tied up. Now, Biggio in 201 at-bats this year, hitting .244 with 6 home runs, 24 ribbies, 6 stolen bases, and a .775 on-base plus slugging. The payoff pitch here will miss outside, and the count will be full to the Blue Jays' left-handed third baseman. So the battery for the New York Yankees is Garrett Cole and Kyle Higashioka. That's something we're going to talk about more in depth come the second or third inning offensively for the New York Yankees when Higashioka gets his first at-bat of the ball game. But this battery looks to be very good, and the starting battery for the postseason in this New York Yankees organization. For whatever reason, Garrett Cole and Gary Sanchez just have not been on the same page, it seems to be, for Cole's first few starts as a Yankee. And he's going to strike out Biggio here swinging. The first batter he retires will go down on strikes. That'll bring up Bo Bichette, who fouls off the off-speed, and the count's going to be 0-1. Now, Bo, Dante Bichette's son, who is actually a staff member for the Toronto Blue Jays offense, is hitting .311 threw 103 at-bats with 5 home runs, 19 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and an 874 OPS. The fastball going to clock in at 97 miles per hour, misses just up and away for ball 1, so the count is even now. Bichette was drafted 2nd round, 66th overall in the 2016 draft by the Toronto Blue Jays. And this one's going to miss outside as well, 2-1 out to Bo. Something interesting here, 2nd round was Bo Bichette. He got selected by the Jays, 66th overall in 2016, as I just mentioned. But Biggio, the first batter of this ball game, 5th round draft pick, 162nd overall in that same draft class by the same Toronto Blue Jays. Of course, both being sons of Major League greats, Dante Bichette and the name was swimming me there, Craig Biggio. Couldn't think about it for a second. I was like, whoa. But back on track here, Dante Bichette, Craig Biggio, of course, fathers of Bo Bichette and Kevin Biggio, respectively, Vlad Jr. and Vlad Guerrero. Of course, we see a lot of baby bombers here on this team, or baby Blue Jays, rather. Baby bombers would be the Blue Jays opposing team tonight. The 2-2 to Bo Bichette. Knuckle curve sent out to right center field, but Hicks is there to make the catch right in front of the warning track, so it's a fly out to center for the 2nd out of the ball game. Cole has thrown 12 pitches and has retired the first 2 men he's faced. And now Teoscar Hernandez will step into the box for the Blue Jays. He has had himself a very successful season, 45 games, a .310 batting average, and 171 at-bats, with 16 home runs, 32 ribbies, 5 stolen bases, and a .988 on-base plus slugging. This guy absolutely tears it up at the plate for Toronto. He's been doing well. Bo Bichette's been doing well. Average-wise, .311. I mean, tearing it up. Now, both Bichette and Hernandez have had their fair share of stints on the IL this year, but so have a lot of the Yankees starters. So here we go, the 1-1 payoff pitch from Cole, and that's going to get right into the shift behind second base is DJ LeMahieu. He'll make the throw over to Luke Voit in time. It's a 4-3 ground out, and that will end the inning. No runs on no hits for the Toronto Blue Jays. No men left on base. It's going to be 2-0 as we head to the top of the 2nd. Gio Urshela, Clint Frazier, and Brett Gardner are all due up for the away half of the 2nd inning. And again, the Yankees took advantage of the top of the 1st. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits. Aaron Judge plated a run on the Aaron Hicks RBI triple. And Hicks would later score on a wild pitch from Tanner Roark. And that would pretty much settle the 1st inning in Roark's outing. First 3 outs, rather. So Urshela, Frazier, and Gardy all due up here in the top of the 2nd. Tanner Roark back out on the mound. Alejandro Kirk behind the plate for the Blue Jays. I mean, that guy is a Yankee killer early on. He went 4 for 4 yesterday. Knocked his first major league homer against the New York Yankees, and we're going to get into that as well. As I mentioned, 4 for 4 from Alejandro Kirk. 1 home run, 3 runs scored in last night's outing where the Toronto Blue Jays kind of blew out the New York Yankees up until the last inning. Now, New York is on a 2-game losing streak after winning 10 consecutive. That streak ended in the final game of the set against the Boston Red Sox, and they lost the opener against the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, this is a 4-game series, so at the worst, the Yankees go 3-1. They look to capitalize on Game 2 here. Of course, they would love to win the series, or at the best, rather, they go 3-1. Let's see. Hello to everyone in the chat. Who do I want to win this ball game? Well, of course, being a Yankees fan, I would love the New York Yankees to win, but the Blue Jays are my number 2 team, which makes it very difficult. I'm going to root for New York, though, because they are chasing the Minnesota Twins in the postseason bracket. They want to get home field advantage for the wild card series. So yes, there are a few guys on the aisle for the Yankees. Travis Shaw, Ken Giles, Rodney Tellez, and Nate Pearson are all hurt for the Blue Jays. Those are the notable injuries for Toronto. Yes, Sevy and Paxton, the big guys that are out right now for the New York Yankees. Of course, Gio Urshela, Giancarlo Stanton, and Aaron Judge all came back last week. And it's going to be fun. Now having a full team, the Yankees have really suffered injuries this entire season. DJ went down for 3 weeks or so. He was big, and he is big in this Yankees lineup. Judge, Stanton, Urshela, they all went down. They missed time. And the Yankees were very good last year at calling up guys and having backups ready. This year, maybe not so much, as they did suffer a drought in the end of August going to the early stages of September. Now, Gio Urshela on a 2-1 count, a slow roller down to third base, almost like a swinging bunt. A tough play for Cavan Biggio. He runs in to get the ball, will not make the play. So a leadoff infield base hit for Gio Urshela, and that will bring up Clint Frazier. Judge locked in? I sure hope so. He had a single back in the first. Later scored on the Aaron Hicks RBI triple, as I previously mentioned. We've really yet to see a big game out of him since his return from the 10-day IL and his few stints not active. So hopefully that first at-bat foreshadows a lot of great things to come from that bat today. We need something big. We need a home run, 3 for 4 maybe, with 2 or 3 RBIs out of Aaron Judge. And that would be a really solid performance, especially because the postseason is a week away. It starts 7 days from this very moment. Red Thunder, yes, Clint Frazier steps in now. The first pitch to him is going to be a ball. Remember, Gio Urshela stands on first with nobody out. And a curveball going to miss just inside. That pitch really could go either way, but the home plate umpire does make the correct call there. Good judgment. 2-0 to Clint Frazier, who is hitting .296 in 115 at-bats, 8 homers, 26 ribbies, 2 stolen bases, and a .984 OPS. He has been locked in. Talk about young guys who have really been doing well for the Yankees this year. As the count now advances to 3-0, Clint Frazier completely turned around his mentality and his overall gameplay, his caliber of performance when it comes to any given Major League Baseball game. He has looked very good defensively, hitting just under 300 in a little over 100 at-bats. I like what we see from Clint Frazier right now, and this outfielder who is still very young and has a lot of talent. The Yankees, of course, have used him at the trade deadline multiple times. His name has been up the past few seasons. They've held on to him, and it's been very successful. Good call there from him and the Yankees. Now, I say that as he grounds out into a double play. Cavan Biggio to Joe Panik to Vlad Jr. from no outs, 1 on to 2 outs and no on. So that is going to be a 5-4-3 double play around the horn. Clint Frazier grounds out there, almost beats out the throw from Panik to Vlad, but unfortunately does not get there in time. So Tanner Roark escapes what could be a potential early jam, 2 outs for Brett Gardner. Sanchez or Higgy for catcher. Well, we actually got a glimpse of this from Aaron Boone. There is this personal catcher theory going around for Garrett Cole, and obviously that's the case. He does a lot better throwing to Higashioka than Gary Sanchez. That's been proven this season. We're actually going to get into those numbers, assuming Higashioka comes up when he comes up next. So I personally would rather have Higashioka catch for Garrett Cole than Gary Sanchez. We could still use the bat of Gary as the DH, or just give him an off day like we see today. Also, Sanchez hasn't really been hitting entirely too well this year, so I don't mind Higashioka stepping in. He gets off days more often than not. We're not seeing a rotation from Gary Sanchez to Kyle Higashioka. That's not typically what happens with starters and backup catchers. So, of course, Garrett Cole-wise, ace-wise, I want to see Higashioka out there. We're paying him $324 million. He's our best pitcher, one of the best pitchers in the American League. Give me Kyle Higashioka. Any other day, I don't know who I'd take. Probably Gary Sanchez. The defense isn't great with him. The offense hasn't been great either. But maybe in the postseason, we see a shift in mentality and Gary Sanchez really locks in just a few days away. Brett Gardner, a 1-2 count, going to advance to 2-2. Big shift against him. Most infielders on the right side of the diamond. He actually tried to push a bunt down the third baseline, but that went foul. And obviously it was good for a strike. So 2-2, 2 outs, no on. Yankees lead by 2 in the top of the second. Inside fastball. The umpire rings out my favorite player in Major League Baseball. Brett Gardner goes down looking on strikes. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tanner Roark. Yankees, no hits, no runs, no men left on base. I take that back. Gio Urshela did have that leadoff single. 1 hit, no runs, no men left on base. Higgy, Cole, and Hicks all went to the same high school. That's really cool. I did not know that. That's pretty neat. They, what are they? Let's see. Are they California natives? Where are they from? Yeah, okay. Garrett Cole is from Newport Beach, California. So the Yankees do not add to their 2-run lead that they took advantage of early on in this ballgame in the top of the second. So we're going to go bottom 2, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., all due up. The 4, 5, 6 batters, the heart of the order for the Blue Jays, as they look to at least chip away a little bit from this early 2-run deficit they find themselves in. Biggio went down on strikes. Bichette flew out to center field, and Teoscar Hernandez grounded out in the bottom of the first. Now Garrett Cole, the 6'4", 220-pound New York Yankees ace, is looking to be very good with Kyle Higashioka behind the plate. Let's actually talk about that now as we go to the bottom of the second. Now, with Kyle behind the dish instead of Gary Sanchez, Garrett Cole has thrown 20 innings, giving up 2 earned runs and a 0.9 ERA. Opponents hit 127 against him with a 211 opponent slugging. Those are crazy good numbers. That's the same caliber almost as we saw last year out of Garrett Cole when he was with the Astros. Now, switch things over to Gary Sanchez, the catcher for Garrett Cole. 46 innings, 20 earned runs, a 3.91 ERA, a 224 opponent batting average, and a 494 opponent slugging. Big difference right there, and that's why we see Higashioka behind the plate now for Garrett Cole, catching his pitches, and we've seen that the last 2 or 3 games as well. And I almost guarantee you exactly 1 week from now, the same battery will be put in place when we take on most likely the Minnesota Twins. It's going to probably be Garrett Cole and Kyle Higashioka. That's not a surprise, especially with the way Garrett's been pitching. Now we'll see how he carries himself with Kyle behind the plate again today. It's a 1-1 count to Vlad Jr. to start the second here. Guerrero will foul this one back 1-2. But it's definitely been interesting to see the transitions and the adjustments that have been made with Gary and Kyle Higashioka. Now, Garrett Cole seems to be all in for Gary Sanchez. He likes to hype him up, likes to make him feel good behind the plate, but just statistically, Higashioka is the way to go catching for Garrett. Hello again to everyone in the chat. Thank you all for taking time out of your day to join me here. I appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun already. Just about a half hour into the stream, the Yankees lead 2-0 in the bottom of the second. We've had some good conversations, some good comments here in the live chat. If you are in and want to stop by, say hello, go ahead and drop a comment. Talk almost anything baseball or sports related. Now, granted, outside of Major League Baseball, my knowledge is not, as complex. I don't know much about football or basketball or hockey even, but if you guys have anything sports related, feel free to let me know. Just kind of tell me what's going on in other sports. Do I like the NFL? I do. I'm trying to get into football a lot more this year. I actually created a mock fantasy football league. Now I do fantasy baseball. I have for the past few seasons. I am the commissioner of a league with a bunch of my buddies in it. But yeah, I'm trying to get into football a little bit more this year. I know the season just started, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So I've been watching a few more football games in my spare time. But when baseball's on, Major League Baseball gets my full attention. So the 1-2 payoff pitch here to Vlad Guerrero Jr. He'll check his swing and foul it. So the count remains 1-2. Cole's pitch count sits at 21. He's gone through one completed inning, no outs here in the bottom of the second. Guerrero Jr., Randall Grichuk, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. will all be up here in the home half of the second frame. Put into play from Vlad Jr., but right to Gleyber Torres, who makes the throw over to Luke Voigt in time. So it is a 6-3 putout. And I think now's a good time to go ahead and take a look at the New York Yankees defense for this evening. Of course, as we know, Ace Garrett Cole on the mound and Kyle Higashioka will be catching for Garrett. Luke Voigt starts at first base, DJ LeMahieu over at second, Gio Urshela at third, and Gleyber Torres, the starting shortstop. Brett Gardner, Aaron Hicks, and Clint Frazier in the outfield from left to right. Aaron Judge, your designated hitter for this ball game. Now, the first pitch, Randall Grichuk sees, he fouls back. Frazier makes a run for it, but it is out of play. So 0-1 now to the Blue Jays DH. Who's my favorite team in the NFL? Well, I don't necessarily have a favorite team yet. I'm kind of studying the league a little bit and seeing, what players I like, what teams I like. But, of course, locally, the Jets and Giants are, the closest to me. So I'm definitely more of a Giants fan than Jets, but that doesn't really hold much for me just because I don't follow football too much just yet. I do know Saquon Barkley, I believe, tore his ACL. He's out for the season. That's a bummer. He's young, I believe, made his football debut last year. Again, don't quote me on the football knowledge because I'm not so, prepped for it. I don't know as much about football, but again, working towards it. Want to kind of broaden my palate a little bit here when it comes to sports knowledge. 1-2 now to the Blue Jays DH. Randall Grichuk, who's hitting .263 and 194 at-bats with 10 home runs, 30 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and a .767 OPS. Puts this one in play. It's going to be a one-hopper to Clint Frazier, and the Blue Jays get their first hit of the ballgame. Randall Grichuk is on for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Runner on first, 1 out. This is going to be Garrett Cole's last regular season start in his first year as a New York Yankee. Of course, now he's going to be pushed back until September 29th, which is game 1 of the Wild Card Series. As things currently stand, that's going to be a matchup between the Twins and the Yankees in Minnesota. But a good stretch from New York and some rough patches for the Minnesota Twins could flip that. Of course, the Yankees want to go for home field advantage. That is the goal. We'll see if that does indeed play out to be the case or not with the remainder of the games left in the season. So the 0-1 to Gurriel Jr. Of course, Lourdes does have a brother in the league, Unito, and he is a Houston Astro. Yuli Gurriel, as they also know him, Pina Power and Pina Power Jr., which in this case is Lourdes. That's his nickname, and he's going to swing and miss here, 0-2. So 1 man on, 1 out. Joe Panic is due up, assuming a double play is not the aftermath of the at-bat here for the Blue Jays outfielder. Garrett Cole reaching 30 pitches through 1 1/3. Just allowed his first hit of the ball game here in the bottom of the second. Gurriel checks his swing, but holds up. The count's going to go 1-2. The fastball right there hits 98. I believe that is the highest velo we've seen from Garrett Cole this evening. To this point, still in the early stages of the ball game, though. So 1-2 now to the Blue Jays left fielder, Joe Panic on deck. If we get that far, Alejandro Kirk as well will see an at-bat potentially. The payoff pitch, off speed just outside. The count will be even at 2-2 strikes. Now, Garrett is a former first-round draft pick. He was selected first overall in the 2011 amateur draft chosen by the Pittsburgh Pirates, who will also get the first selection in the 2021 draft. So just about 10 years later, they will have first-round draft picks yet again. We'll see if maybe they take a top prospect, a top pitching prospect. I don't really know prospect-wise, who's big at this point. I don't follow the minor leagues as much as I do majors. But I want to say it's Pittsburgh who has the first pick, and then maybe Angels and Red Sox. I know it's something along those lines. But we're going to see a double play from Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 6-4-3 to get Cole out of the inning. No runs on no hits, and that I'm for sure of this time around. So it was a ground out to short, a single from Randall Grichuk, and then a ground out into a double play from Lourdes Gurriel Jr. A 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Cole yet again, and we'll go to the top of the third. Kyle Higashioka, DJ LeMahieu, and Aaron Judge are all expected up. Now, Higashioka is going to lead off the away half of the third inning. I do want to say he has 4 home runs on the year, and I was live. I called his first home run of the season on stream 10 days ago. Very fun stream. That was awesome. It would be his first home run of the season. The next game he would hit a home run, he wouldn't just hit 1, not 2, but 3 dingers in the same ball game. Higashioka, one of the first catchers for the New York Yankees to do so in a long time. And super exciting. He's going to lead off the top of the third here. The Yankees backstop hitting 250 through 40 at-bats with 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and an 800 OPS. So you think about it, and if my math is correct, 4 of his 10 hits have been good for home runs. So we'll see what he can do to lead off the inning offensively for the New York Yankees. Of course, DJ LeMahieu and Aaron Judge will be due up as well. DJ leads Major League Baseball in batting average. No, it's down a little bit, but before this game started, he led all of MLB with a 365 batting average. Tim Anderson second with a 355 average. Now, they've actually switched spots for a while. Tim Anderson was holding that league-leading category solely to himself. And I was thinking maybe he would double down, go back-to-back for batting championship titles, but we don't know. Or batting title championships. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. Of course, Anderson won it last year, had a really good average. So did DJ, but not quite high enough. This year, we see the same 2 guys up there, batting average holders, DJ LeMahieu, Tim Anderson, who will finish number 1. Juan Soto's also got a really good average shoot at this point. I believe 350 something, if I'm not mistaken. Kyle Higashioka, the first pitch he sees is going to be flied out to center field. Jonathan Davis is moving back at the wall and going to make the catch. So fly out to center. Kyle almost got every stitch of that one. Came just a few feet away from making it a 3-run ball game, but instead will be the first man retired here in the top of the third. DJ LeMahieu up now. 0 for 1 with the ground out in the first. His average down to 363. And the first pitch is a changeup, but a called strike. So number 26, DJ LeMahieu, is a free agent after this season. He has done exceptionally well for the New York Yankees in 2019 and in 2020. Granted, he was still very good out in Colorado, but his numbers with New York have been very good. You have to assume the Yankees pick him up again in free agency and they re-sign him to at least a 3 or 4 year contract, I would love to see DJ end his career in pinstripes. I think that would be awesome. He sends this one out to deep center field. Jonathan Davis running back at the wall again and gonna make the catch. So back-to-back Yankees to start the top half of the third here, connect and almost get all of it. This one was probably 2-3 feet shy of being at least off the wall. Jonathan Davis, what a great play out in center field. Runs into the wall, collides with the left center field wall after making the catch. And Tanner Roark sees it. He recognizes the play and the effort put in. So 2 outs now for Aaron Judge, who is 1 for 1. He had a single back in the first and later scored the first run of the ballgame. First pitch to him is a fastball down and in for ball 1. Got myself an Oakland Athletics Cup today, and I went to visit that stadium back in 2016, I believe. Aaron Judge grounds this one over to Bo Bichette, and the play will be made. So back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Tanner Roark. After his shaky first, he's looking to be very good. It's a 6-3 ground up for Aaron Judge, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no man left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. How is Luke Voit doing? Well, he isn't doing entirely too great just yet. Through one at-bat, he has popped up to shortstop Bo Bichette. So, pop up like right behind the infield dirt. And he definitely got under a fastball that was right down the middle. So we'll see what he does. He is expected up in the top of the fourth. We'll see if he can get his first hit of the ballgame then. But as I was mentioning before the Aaron Judge ground out, I believe I went out to California in 2016. I went to the Oco Coliseum, watched the Athletics take on the Houston Astros. I actually met an Oakland Athletics player. I don't recall his name, but he signed my hat, which is pretty cool. And then in that same trip, I was out in California again, out in the West Coast. I went to Anaheim and actually saw Mike Trout and the Angels take on the Toronto Blue Jays. So really fun, really exciting, a great experience for me Major League Baseball-wise. I love West Coast stadiums. When it comes to my favorite stadium in Major League Baseball that I've been to, it probably comes down to Camden Yards or Chase Fields, home of the Diamondbacks. I want to give to Camden Yards, though. Baltimore Orioles have a beautiful stadium. Of course, I vlogged my adventure in Baltimore last year when I went to see the Astros take on the Orioles. Justin Verlander, in rare form, lost to that game, but Rio Ruiz walk-off home run. Very fun day. Really cool experience. I love it down there. And if we had a season this year that we could actually attend as fans, I would have liked to travel again. But unfortunately, that was not the case. He has at least 3 more at-bats. Who knows? Yeah, Luke Voit definitely can get some strong at-bats going. I would love to see him hit a home run. Extend his lead for league leaders. It would be his 22nd dinger of the year. Crazy pop in the bat for Luke. He's just done very well. I picked him up in fantasy like halfway through the season, and he has done great things, not just for me, but for the Yankees, in real-life Major League Baseball as well. Do I have the hat to show? Not with me currently. It was someone, I did look him up on the roster. I didn't remember finding him, so I'll have to see. I'll do some more research, and if I do figure it out, I'll probably announce it in my next stream or just at some point. Other players I've met, Dellin Betances, now of the New York Mets. I met him at a Yankees game when he was still in pinstripes. I met Robbie Ray, A.J. Pollock, and Braden Shipley for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2017. And I'm missing someone, Ben Revere, I met for the Philadelphia Phillies. That was super cool. Just really fun experiences. I do like to try to meet as many players as possible before games. Try to catch a ball or two as well. And it's going to be a striking out now. Joe Panic goes down swinging. That's Garrett's second K of the ball game. So Panic, Kirk, and Davis all do up, and Joe will go down on strikes to get to the bottom of the third underway. Alejandro Kirk, let's take a look at his numbers really quick. Toronto Blue Jays rookie catcher. Now, I believe he is 21 years old. I'm going to fact check that really quick here. But Alejandro Kirk has done some great things. He made his debut here in 2020. 14 at-bats, a 4.29 average, 1 home run, 1 RBI, and a 1.187 OPS. He has looked very good. Granted, small sample size. Let's see if I can pull up his numbers here. All right, Alejandro Kirk, yes, 21 years old. And did very well against the Yankees yesterday. He went 4 for 4 with his first ever Major League Baseball home run. He also picked up his first RBI. And this one's going to be sent over to first base. Luke Voigt is there to make the catch. I'll flip it over to Garrett Cole, so it's a 3-1 ground out, 2 away now. So back to players I've met at games. You could add Ken Giles to the list, Thomas Pannone, Sam Gaviglio. Just really exciting stuff. And it's been really fun. I met 4 players with the Blue Jays that game, I believe. Let me take a look to see who I am forgetting about. Swing and miss from Jonathan Davis. It's going to be 0-2 with 2 away. Let's see if I can find it here. Tim Mazes. Okay, there we go. Ken Giles, Tim Mazes, Thomas Pannone, and Sam Gaviglio. I met all of them at a Yankees Blue Jays game back in August 2018. Oh my gosh. I'm all over the place right now. Davis going to foul back another one that counts 0-2. Jonathan is the number 9 batter for Toronto today, so the lineup card will flip over either with this next batter, whether it's this inning or the next. 98-mile-per-hour fastball going to miss upstairs, counts 1-2. Garrett Cole, 44 pitches. He's allowed 1 hit through 2 2/3. And the payoff pitch here, curveball put in play, grounded over to DJ LeMay, who will throw it over to Luke Voigt in time. So a 4-3 ground out. No hits, no runs, no man left on base for the Blue Jays. 9 up and 9 down for Garrett Cole. He retires the lineup in order, even though he surrendered that base hit to Randall Grichuk. He was later retired via a double play. So we're going to go to the 4th inning. Aaron Hicks, Luke Voigt, and Gleyber Torres will all get their second at-bats of the game. Hicks will look to go 2 for 2. The RBI triple back in the first was his first hit of the game and his 15th RBI on the season. Hicks scored on a wild pitch shortly thereafter. Voigt popped up to short, and Gleyber Torres struck out swinging. So Tanner Roark, again, coming into this game, was 2-2 with a 6.41 ERA in 9 games. He's allowed 2 earned runs here through 3 innings and trails 2-0. Let's go ahead and take a look around the league for scores and other matchups. Now, the Rays and the Mets are scoreless in the bottom of the first. The Reds have a 2-0 lead over the Brewers through 2.5 innings. The Phillies and Nationals are through 3.5 frames. The Nats have a 5-3 lead over Philadelphia. Indians are ahead of the White Sox 1-0 in the middle of the fifth. Cubs and Pirates are scoreless in the second. The Marlins and Braves are through a little more than half an inning. In the bottom of the first, the Braves have already scored 1 run, so they have the lead early on. And everyone else has yet to start. So we're going to go to the fourth inning. Hicks, Voit, Glaber against Tanner Roark. Now, more info on the right-handed starter for Toronto. Nicknamed T-Row and was born on October 5th, 1986, which makes him 33 years old. He will be celebrating a birthday in the near future, in the upcoming weeks. So we will see if his team, the Toronto Blue Jays, are still in the postseason come October 5th. He could be celebrating in grand fashion, potentially. So Tanner Roark, first pitch to Aaron Hicks here in the fourth, and it's going to miss down for ball one. 87-mile-per-hour off speed. He's thrown 41 pitches to catcher Alejandro Kirk. And Hicks now hitting 223 after that triple back in the first. Fastball going to miss outside 2-0. Now, Tanner's fastball seems to be landing right around 92 miles per hour. And he's hit that pretty consistently throughout the ballgame. He's ahead. He's behind in the count now to Aaron Hicks, who's ahead, obviously. That's how that would work. But the switch-hitting Hicks will fly this one out to center field. Jonathan Davis will only have to take a few steps, and he will camp under it for the first out. So that is the third flyout to center field of the ballgame for Yankees offense. 10 outs have been recorded, 3 of them to straightaway center field. In comes Luke Voit looking for his first hit of the ballgame. Of course, leads Major League Baseball with 21 home runs. Is also up there with Jose Abreu, close to leading the league in RBIs. Luke Voit has tallied 49 through his 190 at-bats. The first pitch to him is a ball, and Roark's location and control has not been so great to start this ball game. Now, sometimes you just have to get into a groove, and that gets better over time. We'll see if that is the case with T-Row. Nice curveball, paints it perfectly on the outside edge of the plate, deemed a strike by the home plate umpire, and the count is 1-1. Now, Tanner made his Major League Baseball debut on August 7th, 2013 with the Washington Nationals. And Voit going to chop this one over to the left side of the infield. Kevin Biggio will pick up the ball and throw it over to Vlad Guerrero Jr. It's going to be a 5-3 putout, and there are 2 away now for Gleyber Torres. Torres, who initially struck out swinging in the first, will get a second opportunity here, and his chance to record his first hit of the game. Assuming he does get on base, Gio Urshela will be up next. Now, Gleyber was hitting 248 in 117 at-bats leading up to today's ballgame with just 3 home runs and 14 RBIs. So definitely struggled a little bit this year. He's recently been getting into the groove of things, unlike Gary Sanchez, whose average is still fairly low. But postseason atmosphere is definitely different than regular season mode. And it's going to be interesting to see how many clicks we see or the changes we see in performance with some of these guys. Someone to note is Masahiro Tanaka. Does absolutely phenomenal. Crushes it in the postseason. Not saying he did bad in the regular season, but Tanaka time is going to be awfully fun to watch. And that's just over a week away. I'm excited. Postseason is definitely a lot of fun every year. So Garrett Cole, Masahiro Tanaka will probably be the front runners in the rotation for the New York Yankees in that initial set against the Minnesota Twins. It'll be a fun matchup. I love watching Garrett Cole and Tanaka work in general. But postseason time, completely different atmosphere. There's a different tone that's set. You know, from the first pitch, you feel it right away. There is a lot more competition than in a game like this one, for example. Now, same thing with Tanaka. He does very well in the postseason. He can be shaky at times in the regular season, but who won't be? There are some guys who go the other way. Clayton Kershaw, very well in the regular season, but just does not do well in these later months for Major League play. Now, Gleyber Torres is going to shoot one over to right center field. It'll get off the wall, and it's a 2-out double. Not only is it his first hit of the ballgame, but it comes in the form of extra bases. So a 2-out double will bring in Gio Urshela, who had the majority of the runs batted in for last night's ballgame. So Gleyber Torres kind of punching his arm a little bit after that hit. I don't know if that's the new Yankees, inside club celebration. But Blue Jays went 11-5 yesterday over the Yankees. And I take that back. Gio Urshela did not have the majority of the RBIs because of the bases clearing double that did happen in the ninth. But Gio did perform very well. He's 1 for 1 today. He singled back in the second. His average is up to 295. He was later out via a double play, hit off the bat of Clint Frazier. So 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. He's going to line this one to right field. Teoscar Hernandez will get it. And not in time. So Gleyber Torres will come around to score. It's an RBI single for Gio Urshela. He's 2 for 2. And now with his first run batted in of the ballgame. Gio gets 1 base there, but Gleyber does come around to score from second, make it a 3-0 ballgame. The New York Yankees have the lead here in the fourth. In steps the hot bat of Clint Frazier. He's going to wave and miss at an off-speed pitch down and away. Now, Frazier coming into tonight, as I mentioned previously, was hitting 296. Now the average has dropped down just a few ticks to 293. But nonetheless, 8 home runs and 26 RBIs. Followed up with 2 stolen bases and a 984 OPS. He's having himself a great year. And as mentioned in the chat, Gleyber Torres comes around to score. So it's 3-0 in the fourth. The best Yankees lineup. I'm going to have to craft that here. That's a called strike to Gleyber Torres. I'm going to kind of take notes here for you guys so I can read it off. But best Yankees lineup this year, of course, with the state of the game and injuries and everything, taking everything into play. Let me try to see if I can craft something. So I'm coming up with something here. 2-2 count to Clint Frazier. And swing and a miss. He's going to go down on strikes. That'll end the inning. But 1 run on 2 hits. 1 man left on base for the New York Yankees. It's now a 3-0 ball game. So getting back into it here, of course, I want to include DJ LeMahieu, your top tier guys. DJ, Judge, Stanton, Voit. So I'm going to try to get them in the lineup here as well. Let's see. Now, the Yankees are very right-handed heavy, so really no matter how you work this lineup, there's going to be a lot of right-handed sticks from 1 to 9. Now, you can kind of combat that with the switch-hitting bat of Aaron Hicks and then lefty Brett Gardner, or if you're going to put in Mike Tauchman, you can do that as well. So let's see here. I have the guys I want to use. Just see how I'm going to do it here. So, of course, DJ. I kind of like I actually kind of like how I have this set up right now. Now, granted, this can easily change depending on like the matchups or whatever. Like if there's someone in, like if it's the postseason, of course, I might switch some guys out a little bit. But I think right now, I would have to say DJ leading off at second, Aaron Judge in right field, Luke Voit at first, Giancarlo Stanton DHing, Aaron Hicks in center. Let's see what we can do here now. Okay. I completely forgot about Gleyber Torres. Okay, so I had to think there for a second, kind of figure this out, but I would have DJ LeMahieu leading off at second, Judge in right field, batting second, Luke Voit batting third, starting at first. Cleanup batter would be the DH, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Hicks in center fields, followed up by Gleyber Torres, or maybe switch Hicks and Torres, just depending. But maybe if you need to get a lefty in there, have Hicks bat. So then Hicks, Gleyber, Clint Frazier, Gary Sanchez, Gio Urshela. I'm not fond of how I have the bottom of the lineup crafted. But again, you can kind of go a multitude of ways there. And as I look up to the screen, it's going to be a solo home run off of Garrett Cole. Kevin Biggio will be the lucky hitter. That's the second hit of the ball game. First run scored for the Toronto Blue Jays. So a leadoff home run to start the fourth inning. Kevin makes this one a 3-1 ball game. And there you go. Best player at every position, yes, of course. You have to implement the best of the best, especially come a week from now when we do have the Twins and the Yankees in the wild card series. You want to have your top here because the Twins can hit. So Garrett Cole, let's see what he did wrong here. It's just a fastball that missed right over the heart of the plate, and that's essentially it. Mistake pitch. But nonetheless, a pitch that Biggio gets every stitch of. So 3-1 ball game here in the bottom of the fourth. It's a 1-1 count after a called strike to Bo Bichette. And due up is Teoscar Hernandez. He is on deck. So the homer went out to almost straightaway center field. Aaron Hicks was back at the wall and, of course, could not make the play. 1-2 now. Fastball catches the outer third of the plate. Bo flew out back in the first, is now hitting .308 as a result, and has 5 home runs on the year, looking for his 20th RBI. Chases the off speed down and away, but fouls it back, so the count's going to remain 1-2. Bichette, if you remember, flew out to center field in the first. Teoscar Hernandez, who is on deck, grounded out to second in the first inning, and they have not had any at-bats since. So the 1-2 to Bo Bichette is a fastball up in the zone, challenges the Blue Jays shortstop, and again, he's going to foul it back. All right, so here we go. The 1-2 delivery from Chef G, the Yankees ace. And 2-2. Changeup spiked in the dirt. Count is even. No outs, no one on. A 3-1 ball game. Blue Jays trail by 2 here in the bottom of the fourth. You have the meat of this lineup coming up though. Bo Bichette at the plate now. Teoscar Hernandez, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has had a great bat. Like, these are guys that can definitely hit. And in a 2-run ball game, this is who you want up right now. Garrett Cole's given up a run already. See if you can push him a little bit further. Now, Bo Bichette cannot hold up, swings and misses at the changeup, down and away. He'll go down swinging. That is the third strikeout of the ballgame for Garrett Cole, and the 90th strikeout for Garrett Cole on the season. Now, he actually notched his 100th win in his Major League Baseball career against the Blue Jays his last time around. First pitch to the Blue Jays right fielder is a called strike. Teoscar grounded out to shortstop back in the second inning his first time around. Best player at every position out of Major League Baseball. So call strike 2 now to Teoscar. See, that's tough. You got me thinking on that now. That might end up being something I do in a video. Usually, for the offseason, that's something I would do, kind of base it off of the past season. Right now, I can't tell you just I don't have the numbers in front of me. And because there's so many great guys who deserve to be on that list. Of course, you have your Mike Trout. You're going to have, based on this season, a first base selection between Freddie Freeman, Luke Voit, and Jose Abreu. All of them have done very well. Freeman is in the batting champ conversation. Jose Abreu is up there, leads Major League Baseball in RBIs. Luke Voit leads Major League Baseball in home runs. Like, there's so much talent. It's hard to say right now, especially when I'm not looking at definitive stats, but I could get back to that at one point or another. So Garrett Cole gets to a 2-2 count on Teoscar Hernandez and will strike him out on a fastball up and in. So he goes down swinging as well, back-to-back Ks, and make that strikeout number 4 on the game. Cole, Hicks, and Higgy all went to the same high school. Yep, I did read that before. I also read that Garrett Cole grew up in California. I'm looking at MajorLeagueBaseball.com over here. So here we are now, 2 strikeouts, following the home run surrender to Cavan Biggio. And the cleanup batter, Vlad Guerrero Jr., will step in. Now, he's starting at first base today. He could do a multitude of things. He could play at either corner position in the infield, and then also be a designated hitter bat if you need. So a little bit of versatility here with Vladimir Guerrero Sr.'s son. And here we are. So Vlad Guerrero Jr., 0 for 1. He grounded out to shortstop back in the second and is now in a 2-0 count with 2 outs. Fouls back a changeup, and Guerrero will still have the upper hand in the at-bat as he's ahead 2-1. Chef G has thrown 63 pitches through 3 2/3, allowing 1 earned run. Fastball registers at 98 miles an hour. Knee high right down the middle, but Vlad Jr. will take it the other way and fly it out to right field. Clint Frazier will camp under it to make the out. So a fly out to right will end the inning. 1 run on 1 hit and no men left on base for the Blue Jays. They get their first run of the ball game, courtesy of a Cavan Biggio solo home run, his 7th of the year and his 25th RBI on the season. Are the Blue Jays still to be determined for tomorrow? Great question. Let me go ahead and check on that for you. I believe Tanaka is set for us. Yeah, so it's going to be Masahiro Tanaka against Robbie Ray for tomorrow's game, so they are no longer TBD. And that's going to be game 3 of 4 in this set between the Yankees and the Blue Jays in Buffalo. That's kind of fun to say. I like that. I mean, the Yankees are not used to playing this close to home against the Blue Jays. I mean, usually they go north of the border, but now they don't have too much traveling to do. They just go from the Bronx to Buffalo. In this case, they went from Boston to Buffalo, but still not as far of a commute as it could have potentially been. So tomorrow's matchup, Masahiro Tanaka, he's 3-2 with a 3.27 ERA. Robbie Ray is 2-5 with a 7.17 ERA. So obviously, starting pitcher-wise, the Yankees have the upper hand for tomorrow already, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Robbie Ray was picked up by Toronto at this trade deadline. They they traded for a lot of pitchers, and they acquired a lot of guys before the August 31st trade deadline. Of course, this year was extended a month because of the delayed start to the season. So the season started July 23rd and 24th, and then a month and a week later, you had the trade deadline. Lots of action. I didn't really know, who was going to get moved and how much of an extent. Like, I thought it maybe be like quantity over quality. But Mike Clevenger got dealt, and a few big names got relocated. So it was very fun. And Clevenger on the Padres is just huge. Like that's insane. But super fun. Robbie Ray, again, he was acquired by the Blue Jays at the deadline, as well as Taijuan Walker and a few other notables as well. So here we go. Top of the 5th inning, the Yankees now have a 3-1 lead. They're up by 2. And it's going to be Brett Gardner, Kyle Higashioka, and DJ LeMahieu all due up. This is the away half of the 5th. It's been a fairly quick baseball game right now. About an hour, 10 minutes, give or take, to get through 4 completed innings. The first pitch to my favorite player in the game, Brett Gardner, is good for a strike. And top of the 5th here, 0-1 count to the left-handed left fielder. Roark with a fastball knee-high right down the heart of the plate. It's 0-2. Now, Gardner coming into today had 121 at-bats in 2020. He was hitting .207 with 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and a .733 OPS. He struck out looking in the second and is now behind in the count 0-2. Curveball, heel, wave, and miss at. Good location from Tanner Roark, T-Row, for another strikeout, this time swinging. That is Roark's 4th strikeout of the game. So I kind of want to take a look at Turtleneck Gardy. Little anecdote here from the New York Yankees the past few days. Now, if you guys are not aware, the last game that the Yankees won, I believe it was, Clint Frazier had brought a turtleneck to Boston, and he was going to wear it because it was getting cold, last few days of summer, but it was feeling like fall, like middle of fall. Temperatures dropped down a little bit, and it was cold. Now, Brett Gardner knew Clint Frazier had 2 turtlenecks because Gardner actually got the last one from the Yankees clubhouse, and he gave it to Clint Frazier. Clint Frazier asked him for it because the player couldn't take 2. So let's pause really quick and go back. So backstory, rewind a little bit. Clint Frazier, big fan of turtlenecks. We see him rock them in game. Turtlenecks, masks, Clint Frazier sports them all during baseball games. And it's awesome. Now, he got a turtleneck from the Yankee Stadium, and it was one of the last ones. So he went to get a second, and they would not allow him. Like the staff member, whoever who was giving him out, wouldn't allow it because it was the last turtleneck available, and he didn't want to give 2 to Frazier in case someone else needed one. So Clint went over to Brett Gardner and said, hey, go grab that last turtleneck for me. So Brett Gardner, being the veteran and the good player and the good person he is, went over, got the last turtleneck, gave it to Clint Frazier. So in the clubhouse before the game the other day against Boston, Gardner saw one hanging around Clint Frazier's locker. And usually Frazier wears a turtleneck during batting practice and a different turtleneck during the game. So Gardner kind of figured, hey, I'll just take the second one that he has. But it wasn't the second. He only had brought one to the stadium. So Gardner ended up wearing Clint Frazier's only turtleneck that day. And Gardner was off. Frazier was starting the outfield over Brett. So just fun little anecdote. That's stuff that I like to, kind of understand and hear about just because that's behind the scenes of baseball, just kind of like the quirks and some of the fun stuff. But yeah, there's that. So I don't know. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed that little story here. But yeah, so Turtleneck Gardy, he'll go down on strikes. Kyle Higashioka with a single to left field. He's on base now. So 1 out, 1 man on for DJ LeMahieu, who's ahead in the count 1-0. Last year, innings the best rotation in baseball. Yep, quite arguably so. Now Shane Bieber and Carlos Carrasco were the only pitchers still there. Yeah. So out of the mix, of course, Kluber, Clevenger, Bauer, Bieber, Carrasco. 5 insanely good and very talented starting pitchers. 3 of them are gone. Bauer is dominating the National League with the Cincinnati Reds. He is my favorite pitcher in the game. So favorite player-wise, it goes Gardner, Bauer, Donaldson. And this fastball from Roark's going to run a little too far inside. It'll clip DJ's arm. He will get to first via the hit by pitch. And of course, that forces Higashioka to advance to second. So 2 men on, 1 out for Aaron Judge. Anyway, back to it. Um, Indians had great bullpen, uh, and an even better rotation, which is insane. But now, you do have only Bieber left, who is crushing it. He's killing it this year on the mound in the AL. Very good chances of winning that American League Cy Young Award this year. And then Carlos Carrasco doing well also. I mean, they still have some good talent, though. Young arms on that team are performing to a great extent. Zach Plesac being one of them. He's thrown the ball well here in 2020. So it's definitely been fun to watch them, and they are in the postseason run at the moment. Currently hold the first wild card spot. They are 7th seed in the American League. And they will potentially be facing off against the Chicago White Sox. So division rivals right there. Going to be a quick mound visit now for Tanner, who is definitely showing signs of tiring a little bit. 69 pitches through 4 1/3 innings. You have Kyle Higashioka standing on second after a one-out single, and then a hit by pitch to DJ LeMahieu has the Yankees leadoff man at second, or at first, Higashioka at second. So Chase Anderson and Thomas Hatch are warming up for the Blue Jays in the bullpen. So we'll see if this might be the end of the line for Tanner here, at which case he would be set up for the loss, assuming the Yankees do come out on top and, in the bottom of the ninth have the win, or, middle of the ninth they lose. Runners on first and second, 1 out for Aaron Judge. Now he is 1 for 2, singled back in the first, then grounded out to shortstop in the third. I've been saying, I said it early on in the stream, he's due for a big game. He came back from the IL and hasn't done terrible, but also just hasn't performed to the caliber that we know of when it comes to healthy Aaron Judge. So I'm expecting maybe, a nice extra base hit into the outfield gap. A home run would be lovely. I'll even take a single that scores Higashioka. Like, I want to see an RBI out of an at-bat right here from Aaron Judge, and almost manifesting it. A single, like one hopper into left center field. That'll score Kyle Higashioka, and DJ LeMahieu gets a little aggressive, runs over to third, and he is apparently safe. Very close play. But Aaron Judge, just as I predicted it, an RBI double. It's probably going to go down a single, then advance on the throw. But Aaron Judge, an RBI. He's now 2 for 3. That was hit out to left center field. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. came up with the ball. A strong throw over to third. It was accurate. Kevin Biggio just did not get the tag down in time. And DJ is indeed safe. So second and third now. And it is a 4-1 game. Tanner Roark will be pulled. His game is over. 4 1/3 innings for the Blue Jays starter, allowing 4 earned runs. So it looks like Thomas Hatch is going to be the one to come in here and relieve T-Row. Hatch in 2020 has pitched in 15 games, starting only one of them, but has a 3-1 win-loss record and a 2.66 ERA. That's in 23 2/3 innings with 22 strikeouts and a 1.18 whip. Now, he made his Major League Baseball debut this year, so his same 2020 stats also go for his MLB career stats. So he's going to go ahead now and come into this game with 2 men in scoring position, both LeMahieu and Judge at third and second, respectively. Granted, those 2 base runners are not going to be affecting Hatch's ERA, assuming they score. You still have Tanner Roark responsible for both DJ and Aaron Judge. So assuming there's like a single or maybe a home run, whatever happens, and one of those 2 runs score or both runs score, that will negatively impact Tanner Roark's ERA on the season. Which, by the way, we're going to take a look at now what it's up to. He was coming into this game 2-2 on the year with a 6.41 ERA. He is now still 2-2 at the moment, but a 6.6 ERA. So it went up just a little bit after 4 earned runs. Give up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and no walks. Also did not allow a home run in this start. So Thomas Hatch will come in to face Aaron Hicks with runners on second and third. The only out of this inning belongs to Brett Gardner, who struck out to lead off the top half of the top of the fifth. So Thomas Hatch, more on him, 6'1", 205-pound right-handed reliever for the Toronto Blue Jays, 25 years old, and was drafted by the Chicago Cubs in 2016. He was a third-round draft pick, 104th overall, and attended Oklahoma State College. So, of course, he made his debut with Toronto here this year. And his first pitch to Aaron Hicks will be right now. So with Hatch being right-handed and the switch hitting, Aaron Hicks will bat left as he has for the entirety of this ball game. So here we are. The first pitch to the Yankees outfielder is going to be down in the dirt, 96-mile-per-hour fastball, but it's going to miss for ball one. So the Blue Jays acquired Hatch in a trade with the Chicago Cubs. So Toronto traded right-handed pitcher David Phelps and cash out to the Chicago Cubs in exchange for solely right-handed pitcher Thomas Hatch. And that was back on July 30th, 2019. And now here he is making his MLB debut in 2020 and appearing in his, 16th game this is going to be now? Yes, 16th game. The second pitch of the game for him here is going to miss outside, so Hicks is ahead 2-0. Now, first base is empty, but 2 men in scoring position. May I remind you, Luke Voit is on deck. So you don't necessarily want to pitch to Hicks, but you don't want to work around him because Luke Voit can do a lot of damage with bases loaded. Now, Aaron will foul this one back. The count's going to be 2-1. Looking back to see what tonight's center fielder for the Yankees has done so far. He tripled in the first, brought in Aaron Judge for the first run of the game. And then he flew out to center field last inning in the top of the fourth. Here, top five, he's ahead 2-1 on the count with 1 out and 2 men in scoring position. Changeup will miss down. It's 3-1. So Hicks has the upper hand here in the at-bat. And Voit is on deck. 0 for 2 so far, but he's out for his first hit of the game. Aaron puts this one in play past the diving Vlad Guerrero Jr. That'll score at least DJ LeMahieu. Aaron Judge will also come around and touch home plate. So it is a 2 RBI single for Aaron Hicks. That is his second and third, or those are his second and third runs batted in this ball game. He's now 2 for 3 with a single and a triple. DJ scores easily. Judge scores from second. And now Luke Voit will step in with Aaron Hicks at first and 1 man retired. So now that clears the conscience of Tanner Roark. Those runs do go towards his ERA, but Hicks is now under Hatch's responsibility. If Aaron comes across the score, that is now on Thomas, the reliever. So the first pitch to Luke Voit is going to miss outside for ball 1. Hicks stands on first and 1 away. Now, Aaron is yet to steal too many bases. He stole a pair of bases so far this year, 2 bags, and good for a 776 OPS, give or take. A little higher now, granted, after 2 hits in the game. But there are your numbers for Aaron Hicks. Now, Luke Voit leads Major League Baseball in home runs with 21. Can he notch his 22nd here? Hatch throws over to first to check up on Aaron, and he's going to get back there in time, so he's safe. Luke Voigt hitting .280 with 21 home runs, 49 RBIs, and a .982 OPS. Coming into tonight, that's with 189 at-bats under his belt. Now his average is a little lower. He's 0 for 2 in this game. See if he can pick up his first hit here. Yankees now have a commanding 5-run lead. It is 6-1 in the top of the 5th. Voigt can extend that margin by at least one. This one misses inside. The count's 2-1. That's in the dirt. Make it 3-1 now to Luke Voigt. This is the exact count. Aaron Hicks got a hold of one and drove in a 2 RBI single just moments ago. So it's Hatch versus Voigt. Voigt ahead in the count, 3-1. 1 man out. Aaron Hicks on first. Pitch number 10 from the reliever. Big swing and a miss from Luke. Make the count full now. Gleyber Torres is on deck and due up next. Chase Anderson still warming up, getting ready to go in case he's called on. This is a big opportunity for the Yankees to continue their lead here and advance it to a little more than 5 runs. You can never be too safe. But it's going to be a strike him out, almost throw him out. So Voigt goes down on a swing and miss. Aaron Hicks goes for the stolen base. He's in there safely, but the throw gets away from, I believe, Joe Panik, who was covering the bag. Joe can't come up with the pick, so Aaron Hicks is safe at second. It was a slow roll inner center field, and Hicks maybe could have advanced, but because he dove head first, he did not get up and run to third in time. So it's a stolen base for Aaron Hicks. It puts him in scoring position now with 2 outs for Gleyber Torres. Gleyber had that double last inning. He scored, and he is 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. He'll start his at-bat here ahead 1-0. Shortstop number 25 for Gleyber Torres. 3 home runs and 14 RBIs, an average just under 250. And a 2-0 count. So Hicks leads off of second. Gleyber Torres at the plate. Gio Urshela due up. A 2-0 count to the Yankees' number 5 batter. So here we are. Two one now to Gleyber, and we're in the top of the 5th. The Yankees lead by just that much, 5 runs, 6-1. Still lots of time for Toronto to come back, but personally, I wouldn't mind the way that the game ends if we were to call it a day after the 5th inning here. Rooting for the Yankees. I want to see them get home field advantage in the first series of the postseason, the wild card series now, which is definitely something a little bit new. If you guys aren't familiar with the new extended postseason bracket and what the postseason is going to look like this year, diving into the bubble and some of the changes that are going on, you can go ahead and check out some of the videos on my channel. We talk about the bubble and the changes coming into the 2020 postseason. We also discuss the extended postseason bracket. Now 16 teams instead of 10 make it. That's more than half the league who will see a game on September 29th or September 30th, depending on what league you're in. Now, a fastball outside in a 3-1 count, but the umpire deems it a strike, so the count will go full, and back-to-back ABs here from Thomas Hatch. Gleyber started to take off to first, and rightfully so. That was fairly outside. But the ump calls it in favor of the Blue Jays, and the count's full with 2 outs and a runner on second. Torres hits this one through. It's going to get by shortstop Bo Bichette. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the left fielder, will cut it off and throw it in, but not in time. Aaron Hicks will slide into home, plating the 7th run of the game for the New York Yankees offense. It's an RBI single for Gleyber, and that is his second hit of the ballgame. So that stolen base really comes in big right there from Aaron Hicks, because Gleyber will not have gotten the RBI if it weren't for that swiped bag. Hicks did get his 3rd of the season right there. He plates his 2nd run of the game. He's also got 3 RBIs, so he's responsible for 5 of the runs. That is the math, right? 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Aaron Hicks having a really big day at the plate. Wave and miss from Gio Urshela to start his at-bat. Urshela and Torres have the 2 sole RBIs other than that. As well as Aaron Judge. Apologies there. So that's right. Aaron Hicks did score on the wild pitch. So 4 of the runs have been from Aaron Hicks. An RBI from Judge, an RBI from Urshela, and an RBI from Torres. That's how we've gotten to 7 right now. I know that might have been a little sketchy. Hope you guys kind of understood that. I do apologize. So we'll quick recap again. We'll go in order here. So Aaron Hicks had the RBI single in the 1st. That scored Aaron Judge. Hicks scored on a wild pitch. Fast forward to the 4th inning. Gleyber Torres gets a double with 2 outs. Gio Urshela an RBI single. Then you go to the 5th. Kyle Higashioka a single. TJ LeMahieu gets hit by a pitch. Aaron Judge gets an RBI. 2nd and 3rd now. And then Aaron Hicks with a hit. He gets a 2 RBI single. And then Gleyber Torres with an RBI single to score Aaron. So there you go. Gio Urshela now will ground out to the middle infield, and that will end the inning. Let's do the math here. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits for the New York Yankees and 4 runs. 1 man left on base. But this is now a bigger lead for the New York Yankees as we go to the home half of the 5th. Looking very good. The Yankees definitely needed to win this one. In a 2-game losing streak after winning 10 consecutive. So definitely a little bit of adjustment there being made. But yes, they did win double digits, 10 games in a row. They lost their last game, their getaway day game against the Red Sox. They lost the series opener against the Blue Jays, and now they are winning against Toronto as things currently stand. So we'll take you through some scores throughout the league right now. Phillies and Nationals. The Nationals have a 1-run lead, 6-5 in the top of the 6th. The White Sox and Indians are tied at 1 through 6.5 innings of work. Of course, we know that the Yankees and Blue Jays are in the middle of the 5th, and the Yankees are up 7-1. Reds have a 2-1 lead over the Brewers in the bottom of the 6th. Pirates over the Cubs 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Rays and Mets are tied at 1 in the 3rd. Braves lead the Marlins 2-0 in the 4th. The Red Sox have a 2-1 lead over the Orioles in the bottom of the 2nd. The Twins and Tigers are in the top of the 3rd inning there. Minnesota has a 1-run lead. And then finally, just starting is the Cardinals and Royals. So that is your set of scores around the league at the moment. Garrett Cole going to step in for his 5th inning of work, coming in with 64 pitches to this point in the ballgame. He's given up 1 run. It was a solo shot to Kevin Biggio back in the 4th. It's going to be Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Joe Panic due up here in the home half of the fifth. Hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for all joining today, taking time out of your day. And for those of you who have been on here for almost the entirety of the stream, I do greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're making that push towards 1,000 subscribers, which is insane to say because I never would have thought I would have made it at that point, at least, not this soon. I only started YouTube about 2 years ago, and it's just crazy to kind of conceptualize everything that's going on. I cannot thank all of you guys enough for your continued support. You guys are awesome. I would not be here without you guys, and would not be having as much fun streaming without you guys right here either. I mean, it's been fun. An hour and 35 minutes in, bottom fifth of the game, Yankees up 7-1, and that's where we stand gameplay-wise. Now, a fastball spiked into the dirt, but Randall Grichuk will offer and miss. It does get by Kyle Higashioka, but he'll throw over to Luke Voigt in time for the drop third strike. But Garrett Cole will indeed get that strikeout to start the bottom of the fifth here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ks for Garrett Cole in just as many innings. The first pitch from Garrett Cole now to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is going to be a ball. Now, Lourdes has been hitting the ball very well this season. His average was .295 coming into today with 10 home runs, 30 ribbies, and 3 stolen bases. That's in 190 at-bats. OPS set at .856. He's nicknamed Pina Power Jr. The other Pina Power in Major League Baseball is Yuli Gurriel, his brother, his older brother, on the Houston Astros. It's a 2-1 count now to the Blue Jays left fielder. And Garrett Cole tosses a changeup down the middle. A foul back. The count's going to be even at 2-2. 1 out, bottom of the fifth. No one on base for the Blue Jays. Again, Gurriel Jr. up to the plate now. Joe Panic due up next. Yuli is 0 for 1 thus far. He grounded out into double play. Joe Panic struck out in the third. That's as far as either one of them have gotten. And a changeup going to miss down and away again. So the count is full. Of course, you'd love to see 6 innings out of Garrett Cole, maybe 7, but with 73 pitches at the moment, I'd say probably 6 and maybe a few more outs in the 7th would be more realistic. Now, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. sends this one out to center field. Aaron Hicks, right in front of the warning track, will make the catch. So it's a fly out to center field for the second out of the inning. And off the bat, that looked gone. Great hit from Lourdes, just does not get every stitch of it. Misses by a matter of feet. Joe Panic steps in now with 2 outs, and his team down by 6. No one on base, and the curveball going to be outside for ball 1. Now, we talked about it earlier. Cole pitches a lot better when Kyle Higashioka is behind the plate. That is the battery tonight for New York, and he's only allowed 1 earned run through 4 2/3. A swing and miss here from second baseman Joe Panic makes the count even at 1. And assuming that Garrett Cole continues to have success with Kyle behind the plate, this will most likely be the postseason battery for Game 1 of the Wild Card Series just 7 days from now exactly, September 29th, 2020. Mark your calendars. The postseason is right around the corner. It's scary. I mean, it feels like a snap. We were like, okay, Major League Baseball starting. It's just right around the corner. We're super close. Then it's, okay, trade deadline is approaching. And now we're a week away from the postseason. Ridiculous. A month from now, baseball is going to be just about over for the year. But then we get into the fun talks on free agency. There's going to be a lot of guys signing big contracts. Masahiro Tanaka and DJ LeMahieu alone from the Yankees are free agents, and you have to assume at least one, but hopefully both do return to pinstripes next year. Cole's going to elevate a fastball, sends it upstairs, but Panic swings and misses. That'll be strike 3. No runs on, no hits For the Blue Jays, no man left on base. The score remains 7-1 as we go to the top of the 6th. For the Yankees, it's going to be Frazier, Gardner, and Higashioka all due up in the top half of the 6th inning. So here we are. Let's go ahead and take at the National League bracket at the moment, because we did discuss earlier the AL bracket and the seeds. Just to kind of reiterate, Tampa Bay Rays have the best record in the American League. They're number 1 seed. White Sox 2, A's 3, Twins 4, Yankees 5, the Houston Astros 6. Sorry, did I say that? Houston Astros 6, Cleveland Indians 7, Toronto Blue Jays 8. And the Blue Jays have a pretty nice lead over the Mariners going into today's matchups. The Blue Jays were ahead of Seattle by 4 games. So right now it seems to be that the Blue Jays will hold on to that final spot in the American League, which is what I do hope happens. In the National League, the Dodgers have the best record in baseball, let alone in the National League. They are 38-16. They're the number 1 seed. Cubs number 2, Braves 3. The Padres are 4. Marlins, the sneaky team, have the 5th seed. They are easily in the postseason right now. Cardinals 6th. The Reds have the 7th seed, the first American League wildcard spot. And then the Phillies sneak in there with the number 8 seed. So you still have the Brewers, Giants, Rockies, Mets, Nationals, Diamondbacks, and Pirates in the league. But really the only teams with decent chances right now are the Brewers and the Giants. Now, the Phillies, Brewers, and Giants all have a .491 win percentage, but because of a differential in games played, the Phillies have 27 wins, 28 losses. Both the Brewers and Giants are 26 and 27. So really, that last seed can go up to a multitude of teams right now. The Phillies, Brewers, Giants, all in the mix. It's going to come down to who will have the better last few games of the season. 6-7 games left, give or take. Who will go ahead and come out on top? So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to be fun. As soon as we know the finalized brackets, there will be a predictions video on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Turn your notifications on if you haven't already for when I go live and when I upload videos. Like I mentioned previously, the free agency is going to take Major League Baseball by storm in just a little over a month from now. We're going to be streaming postseason games. There's going to be regular uploads. It's going to be fun, guys. I love this time of year. It does seem that Major League Baseball is coming to a close, but postseason baseball is just so amazing. Definitely a whole lot of fun. And as I mentioned like an hour ago, probably into the stream, postseason baseball, whole different atmosphere. It's a whole new ball game. And this year, definitely weird. 60-game season in like 67 days. Lots of different new rules and regulations put in place. But, you know, at the end of the day, we still have a postseason. It is extended. It's going to look a little bit different. We have now bubbles and other accommodations have to be made. But, you know, we still have all teams fighting for the same end goal, and that is a World Series championship. So Clint Frazier is the first batter of the inning. Chase Anderson comes into pitch, and we'll be down in the count 2-1 early on. So let me go ahead here and look up Anderson's stats. So Chase Anderson for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's pitched in 8 games this year, starting actually 7 of them. So really not coming out of the bullpen as much this year. He's 0-2 on the year, record-wise, a 7.45 ERA in 29 innings with 29 strikeouts and a 1.72 whip. So he's not having the best of seasons right now. Count is tied to Clint Frazier, 2-2. Make that 3-2. Fastball, 94 miles per hour, will run inside. So Clint is 0-2 today. He grounded out into a double play in the second, and then back in the 4th inning, he struck out swinging. So this is his 3rd at-bat. We'll see if he can get a hit here. And remember, the count is full to the Yankees right fielder here in this game. Swings, puts this one into play. Out to center field is Jonathan Davis, but right in front of the warning track will be where he ends up before making the catch. So it's a fly out to center field, and that's the first out of the inning. So Frazier goes down on a flyout / sharp line drive to center. Jonathan Davis will make the catch, and Anderson, 6 pitches in, will retire his first out of the game. Brett Gardner owns a pair of strikeouts, one looking, one swinging in the 2nd and 5th innings, respectively. We'll see if he can come out here with a hit, grab his first of the game. First pitch he sees from Chase Anderson is going to be upstairs. He leaves it alone for ball 1. Gardy's average has dropped down now to 203. Granted, he still has 5 home runs and 14 ribbies on the year. He'll also be a free agent after the season. Changeup, 82 miles per hour. On the outer third of the plate, strike 1. There is a notable shift to the Toronto Blue Jays defense right now. Bo Bichette, the shortstop, is the only one on the left side of the diamond playing his normal position. Now, at what is like right in the middle of second base and shortstop is Cavan Biggio, third baseman, and that's actually right where Brett Gardner hits it. So it's going to be a ground out. That is a 5-3 put out, even though it was hit to typically where the second baseman would get the ball. So 2 quick outs now from Chase Anderson. I'm going to probably have to say this might be our last inning live. So we'll go to the end of the 6th and then probably call it a day. We'll see where we sit at time-wise, but I think that might be a good place to stop for this evening. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Kyle Higashioka. First pitch he sees is a changeup inside, but he fouls it back for strike 1. Now Kyle's 1 for 2. He flew out to center back in the 3rd inning. In his most recent at-bat, however, in the 5th, he singled and then later scored on an RBI base hit from Aaron Judge. So we'll see what he can do here behind in the count 0-1. Chase Anderson deals, and it's a front door curveball that misses a little too far inside. So it counts even a 1-1 now. 11 pitches for Chase, who relieved Thomas Hatch. He's working out of relief now. He's retired the first 2 batters he's faced. And Higashioka takes a fastball outside and fouls this one back. So it's 1-2. Now, Kyle does not usually see much playing time. He's the backup catcher for New York. But because Gary Sanchez is bound to have off days and Garrett Cole pitches better to Kyle, he does find himself in tonight's game. Now, personally, I do like Kyle Higashioka. I'm a fan of his. I like to follow him. I'm a fan of every New York Yankee. I'm a fan of the team as a whole. That is my number 1 team in Major League Baseball. But, you know, I do really like Gary Sanchez, Kyle Higashioka. Aaron Boone spoke out before on personal catchers, and it just seems to me that is the case. You know, Garrett Cole does a lot better when he throws to Kyle, and that's going to be the case. It's obvious. That's proven with stats from this year, and that'll probably be, we've mentioned this on a multitude of occasions already today, but that'll probably be the matchup 7 days from now when the Yankees take on the Twins, either at Yankee Stadium or in Minnesota at Target Field. The count's even at 2 now with 2 away to the Yankees' number 9 batter. Great curveball. Had some, phenomenal break right there, but it's going to miss low, so the count will go full with 2 outs. If Higashioka gets on base, that'll bring up leadoff batter and second baseman DJ LeMahieu. DJ is 0 for 2 today. He got hit by a pitch in the 5th and then grounded out in the 1st and flew out in the 3rd. However, it will not get to that point as Kyle Higashioka goes down swinging. No hits, no runs, no men left on base, and no errors from the Toronto Blue Jays defense. That'll end it offensively for the Yankees here in the 6th inning. They still have a 6-run lead as the score sits at 7-1. However, we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Alejandro Kirk, Jonathan Davis, and Cavan Biggio all stepping up to the plate here in the home half of the 6th frame. Again, for those of you who just joined, we will probably stop streaming following the conclusion of this 6th inning. As it currently sits, the score is 7-1 in the New York Yankees' favor. If they do win this ball game, they even out the series 1-1. Now, I believe, if I did my math right, if I was looking over the calendar correctly and the schedule, the Yankees lead the season series over Toronto 4-3. So, assuming the Yankees win tonight, they will advance that to 5-3 on the year. If not, the Blue Jays will tie it, and the teams will be 500 against each other. So the Mets, Pete Alonso just hit a solo home run to give the Mets the lead 2-1 over Tampa Bay, and that is something, as a Yankees fan, that I love to see. I've pretty much come to terms with the fact that the Yankees will not win the division, but if the Rays can maybe drop back to the 2nd seed, I wouldn't mind. Let Chicago go ahead and grab the number 1 spot in the American League bracket. As it sits, the Tampa Bay Rays are 35-19, the White Sox 34-19. So if the White Sox win today and the Rays lose today, there's a chance that we might see a flip in the seeds and the bracket, which would be awesome, just because that means we don't necessarily have to face the Rays in the division series. Now, granted, we might face them in the championship series, so it'll make losing to them even harder if that is the case, and even more painful, but we'll see. I really don't want to face Tampa Bay. At least not early on. I do want to see the Yankees go pretty far this postseason. And they've done pretty well over the past 2-3 years. But, we do want to come out with a World Series win and not, a loss in the championship series or the division series like it's been for us much recently in years past. So Alejandro Kirk steps in now. Garrett Cole still on the mound, just do pitch number 80, and it was good for a strike. The 21-year-old catcher will wave and miss at the second pitch of the at-bat, 0-2. He's now hitting 400. He hit his first ever Major League home run in yesterday's game. Continued to go 4 for 4, scoring 3 runs. I mean, this guy early on is a Yankees killer. We've mentioned it a few times today. But he does very well against this New York team. Granted, he is, just experiencing baseball at a Major League level. He'll foul this one back, so the count remains 0-2. The Yankees seem to be trying to get at least 6 completed innings of work out of Garrett Cole, 82 pitches. He's gone a lot further in recent starts, so we'll see how far they push him. Because this is his last regular season start, and he's going to have an extra day of rest or two because of the postseason, they might throw him like 105 pitches or so. We'll see. So Kirk stays in the battle and grounds this one past the diving Labor Torres. It kind of deflects off his glove. So a leadoff single for the rookie catcher. Sorry, it gets right through the glove. It doesn't deflect off. And Garrett Cole smacks his glove. He's not happy. I mean, hey, Garrett, you're doing well. That's only the second hit you've given up. The first happened to be a solo home run. But, just take a break. You got this. You've got the lead. A pretty significant one as well, 6 runs. And with the dominant outing Garrett's been having so far, Chef G, I feel very comfortable and confident saying that the Yankees should hopefully come out on top. Assuming we go to our A-game relievers to close this game out. Maybe not A-game necessarily, depending on how big the lead is, but, go to trustworthy, incredible relievers following Garrett Cole. So Jonathan Davis is now behind in the count to start, 0-1. Again, Alejandro Kirk leads off first base, and there are no men out. This is sent it to center field, and that's going to be a base hit. Alejandro Kirk will, I want to say stop at second, but I can't really see. Alejandro Kirk will stop at second base, yes. So 2 singles in a row, so maybe now Garrett Cole punched the glove. Back-to-back base hits in the bottom of the 6th. That turns the lineup court over for Kevin Biggio. His last time around in the 4th inning, he hit a solo home run. That was the first hit of the game for the Blue Jays offense and also the first run. That still stands to this point as the score is 7-1. But we need like a strikeout double play or like a double play strikeout right now from the Pinstripes ace, Yankees White Whale. So here he is, the lefty Cavan Biggio will step into the box with nobody out and 2 men on base. First pitch, 96-mile-per-hour fastball just under the knees for ball 1. Alejandro Kirk at second. Jonathan Davis at first. Cavan Biggio steps in now to a 1-0 count, nobody out. Check swing, slow roller. Kyle Higashioka will run up in front of the plate to make the throw over to first. So that's not really a sacrifice. It's more of like a swinging bunt. As you can see on the replay, Biggio checks his swing, happens to make contact, so he has to run. I'm going to put that a 2-3 ground out. Obviously, Alejandro Kirk will advance to third, Jonathan Davis to second. So now 2 men in scoring position for the dangerous bat of Bo Bichette. A 305 average, 5 homers, 19 ribbies on the season for Bo. Landed on the IL for a short stint for a period of time with the Blue Jays this year, as well as Teoscar Hernandez, some of their bigger bats here in 2020. Bo Bichette, as I just mentioned, now hitting 305. He's 0 for 2 today. He flew out to center in the first and struck out swinging in the fourth. He's going to take called strike 1 here, and he's down in the count early. Garrett Cole nearing 90 pitches, currently sits at 88. Kirk just 90 feet away from the second run for the Blue Jays offense. Jonathan Davis sits at second. 98 mile per hour fastball, right in the zone, like perfectly placed, well under the black, and somehow deemed the ball from the home plate umpire. I mean, that was as good as you're going to get. Just under the belt, 98 miles an hour, and the call is not granted in Garrett Cole's favor. So it's going to be a ground ball to Gio Urshela. Alejandro Kirk takes off on contact, so he'll be out at home. Gio Urshela makes the throw to Kyle Higashioka, so let's score that there. That's going to be a 5-2 putout. And then Bichette will get to first on a fielder's choice. So interesting move there. I don't know if that was on Kirk or the third base umpire, but Urshela is trying to preserve that ERA for Garrett Cole. It's going to be first and second, 2 outs. Now you have Jonathan Davis at second, who did not leave on contact, and Bo Bichette, who made it to first on fielder's choice. Teoscar Hernandez has not had much success today. He grounded out back in the first to second, then struck out in the fourth, much like Bo Bichette. He's 0 for 2. Coming into today was hitting .310 with 16 home runs, 32 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, and a .988 OPS in 171 at-bats. The first pitch to him is going to be a strike. And again, 2 men on, 2 outs. In his last 7 games, Teoscar Hernandez has 30 at-bats, hitting .367 with a trio of home runs, 7 RBIs, and a .387 on base. Not bad numbers at all. Him and Bo Bichette have been some of the higher caliber performers offensively for this team. The fastball is going to hit 99 for the first time this ballgame out of the arm of Garrett Cole. And though Teoscar checks his swing, the home plate umpire says he goes around, so it's 0-2. And let's see if Garrett Cole can successfully escape the jam here. The 0-2 payoff pitch to the Blue Jays right fielder. Curveball hit over to Gio Urshela, who runs and steps on third base himself. So it's a 5 unassisted. Urshela will retire. Jonathan Davis, he advances to third on the force play. Garrett Cole kind of takes some hops, pounds his fist. He's happy, gets out of the inning unscathed, and a great outing here from Garrett Cole in his last appearance in a regular season game in his first year in pinstripes. So let's take a look here at Garrett Cole's numbers on the day. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, and his ERA is now down to 2.88. Very good numbers from Garrett Cole. And we are going to go to the top of the 7th. However, I am going to go ahead and end the stream here. The Yankees currently lead 7-1 as we head to the away half of the 7th inning. And it seems to be right now they are going to tie the series up at 1 apiece. This has been a fun game. Your starters were Garrett Cole and Tanner Roark. Starters for Game 3 in tomorrow's game, Wednesday, September 23rd. It's a 6:37 p.m. start Eastern Standard Time. Masahiro Tanaka will get the ball for the visiting New York Yankees, and Robbie Ray will pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays out in Buffalo. Guys, thank you all so much for watching today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already, I appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to join the stream. I hope you guys all had as much fun as I did. I had a great time. Thank you all so much for watching and for tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Peace.